So I'm often asked about the best way of really starting to use your intuition. There are different ways of doing it, so here are three of the best. The easiest is just your normal intuition, but start practicing it. And try and find something every day where you can practice your intuition and see what it feels like. See what that voice inside is different from the voice in your head. So I used to do it when I used to drive to the train station of a morning to go to work. I lived in a town where you could go east of the town, west of the town, or go through the centre of town. 3 different routes to the train station. So what did I take? And I just let my intuition play every morning and saw what it felt like. And this was really a great experience. Going through the centre of town is the fastest way, but if you leave it too late, you hit traffic. And often I would go to the west. And then one day, my intuition said to go through the centre of town and not through west way. So I thought, this is strange. I normally go west, and why not go west now? So I did do. In other words, I ignored my intuition and then found out there was temporary traffic lights set out west of the town, so I was held up. Now, that's how the intuition worked. The intuition was telling me the right thing to do, not to go on that route. So that's one way of doing it, just getting your normal everyday sense of what your intuition feels like and practice it on something which is not drastically important, but it's a nice way to play with it. But you might want to do something more serious with your intuition. Ask harder questions. There are 2 different ways of doing that. The first is to sit quietly in a more silent way of keeping your mind. So sit quietly, use your breath to slow down. Take 3 deep breaths. And as you take a deep breath, then breathe out fully. So you really can then take a very deep breath, and that calms you down tremendously. And then move the focus of your mind from your head, where we're always thinking, down to your heart. And look out from your heart perspective. And just see if you can feel what it is like to look out from your heart instead. And then ask the question in which you want an intuitive answer to. And sit there quietly and see what comes. Sometimes you might get pictures. Sometimes you might get a quick intuitive moment. That's your answer. That's what can really help. And the third way of accessing your intuition is, again, it's a way of getting good answers. And that is, you formulate the question you want to ask. And just before you go to sleep, you ask that question. And it has to be the last thing you think of before you go to sleep. That's the trick of this one. And then when you wake up in the morning, you have an answer. Well, you don't always have an answer, but quite often you do. And if you have an answer, it's usually a very good answer. It doesn't always work for me, but it is a very good way of getting an answer, an intuitive answer to a problem you're going through. One of the difficulties with using your intuition is learning when it's your intuition answering you and not your everyday head. So when is it your intuition or when is it your head? And particularly if it's something really important to us, naturally we've got a lot of emotions around it. We feel very strongly about it. And all those emotions and strong feelings get in the way of our intuition. So the first way, just letting your intuition works quickly, but your emotions can get in the way of that and make it a bit harder. The second one, being calmer and focusing from your heart, works really well. And being calmer helps keep the emotions away. And the third one, asking the question just before you go to sleep. It's a really good one because overnight you're doing something else and you wake up in the morning fresh and suddenly, bing, there's your answer. So those are 3 ways of exploring your intuition. Try it. Tell me how it works for you. Leave some comments below. Good luck with it.